All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. And today we have Dr. Anyas with us. Welcome, Dr. Anyas.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Sarah. She's busy. And your your virtual background is kind of like imposed on your forehead with a big leaves.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We might be able to. We might gonna cut this little section now. Oh, today is just fun. Oh my God.
We lost Sarah. Where'd she go?
She's, she become part of
Starting
the
in
tree.
Oh, what happened?
oh.
It's full of challenge. Do you want to get out of it or do you want me to record that?
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you did not record that.
No, I do. Good afternoon, everyone. We are having a ball in the backstage right here. So sorry we could not get this live to you because Facebook is throwing a curveball to us and we are not able to stream it live. So we're going to record this episode and we're going to release it out as soon as we can. But today we have a special guest that who's going to educate us and walk us through what is the healthy way of consuming food. We're so excited to have Dr. Anya here with us. And Sarah, how did you meet Dr. Anya?
Well, through my networking group,
All
Dr.
right.
Anya is a member of CPN.
Okay.
So,
That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you have invited Dr. Anya to be in our discussion and our conversation.
yeah.
So my name is Lee Tran. I am part of this co-host with Sarah, my partner. We're here every day from 5 to 5:30. And I think we are a little bit late today, but it doesn't matter. It's a recording. So you're going to get the whole scoop regardless. So I came from a background of refugees. 40 years ago, my family and I crossed the ocean, literally, um, not knowing where we were going, escaping the communism in Vietnam. And 8 months later, we got sponsored in America, and life has been a really rough but no boring journey. So I have actually tell my story in the TEDx last year, and then this year I have get the whole entire story out into my book, and it's called "I Did Not Miss the Boat." So because of COVID, both Sarah and I met Sarah briefly in February, and because we have been through this waiting uncertainty periods before, so we thought it would be fun to inspire people, to encourage people that use this time for some other purpose, and we're using this time to meet new people, to meet new guests, and to learn from our guests. And that's what this conversation, daily conversation, is born. So that's my part, and I'm gonna let Sarah introduce herself. And we have introduced ourselves every day. So if you
Every
miss a little
day.
part of this, you can go back to the last thousands of episodes that we did since March.
Yeah.
So
Just in case you are brand new and turn on our show today, I'm Sarah M. I have a similar story as Lee, but while she is
swimming in
risking
the ocean.
risking her life on the open ocean in the little boat, I was risking my life across the border in the jungle, escaping. But God was so grateful. He protected us, both Lee and I. We were safe. We are alive now, and we can look back and say, wow, what a journey. It could have been very deadly, but we are safe. So that's why I am so grateful. Every day I'm grateful. God gave me a second chance, and I am now taking lightly. and I want to use this time to share, to encourage people. So I too wrote my journey in my book, How I Survived the Killing Fields, that's available on my website, sarahim.com. And I'm also a speaker and an inspirational speaker. So if you ever need an inspiration, you can reach out to Lee or myself or Dr. Anya. So we are all, you
We
know,
all have a different messages, but
yeah,
they are about helping each other, helping.
yeah, we all enjoy sharing our story. So that's all I want to say about me today. Let's move on and want to pass on the microphone to Dr. Anya. Please introduce yourself and share a little bit of your journey, and then tell us a little bit about what are you doing currently and how people can, you know, can support you.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies, for having me. This is fantastic. My story is not as in-depth or dramatic as both of your stories, but I will definitely share it because I feel like it might resonate with some other people and might be able to help them. One thing that I'm learning through all of our struggles is that we're not alone. We're not alone in our struggles, and we all go through struggles and face struggles. And I think that sometimes we're challenged so that we can help someone else down the line. So this is fantastic what you ladies are doing here. I really appreciate it. So yes, so my name is Dr. Anya Szegeti, and I'm the CEO of Back to Health Functional Medicine. I'm also a assistant adjunct professor at St. Pete College, and I run a nutrition education program called Healthy Eating for a Healthy Waistline. And I've also just finished a book. So this is my book, You Can't Outrun Your Fork, and I'll definitely discuss this book because I also shared my story in this book as well. So a little bit about me and my background. I'm going to go back to college because that's kind of where my story really blossomed. I went to the United States Coast Guard Academy and I majored in mechanical engineering. And I was actually the first African-American female to graduate in mechanical engineering from the United States Coast Guard Academy. And then after I graduated, I spent 6 years active duty in the service. When I left the service, I accepted a regional position for a medical device sales company, pretty high pressure corporate America job. And then as I progressed in my career, I was rewarded with a larger territory. And then I was offered a promotion with another company to cover the state of Florida. And then as that position grew, I was given more and more states to cover. So I was traveling pretty consistently, and it was very high stress. And I found myself making poor dietary and lifestyle choices as a result, just trying to survive. I wasn't feeling well, I was exhausted. And so I went to my doctor to get checked to see if something was going on. And they ran some tests and they found out that I had an autoimmune disease.
Oh, wow.
My doctor at the time told me that I was.
Oh, we got
So
frozen.
we would just wait until I got sicker and then medicate me for the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
So I wasn't happy with that decision. I wanted to take action. I wanted to do something about it. And so I searched for an alternative. And I was very blessed to be connected with a holistic doctor in Colorado that actually treated me via telemedicine before telemedicine was the cool thing to do.
Wow.
And we adjusted my diet, we adjusted my lifestyle, we added in some supplementation, and I was able to actually halt and reverse my autoimmune disease process.
Wow.
So this was an epiphany for me. I was absolutely floored by this, so much so that I ended up quitting my job in corporate America and going to medical school so that I could help others that were also struggling with, this and other conditions as well.
Yeah.
And so when I went to school, my doctorate's in chiropractic medicine. But I also did a 100-hour certification in acupuncture. So I'm certified in acupuncture as well. And as Leah asked at the beginning, she was asking how I treat my patients if I don't actually see them. But I did 2 additional postdoctorate diplomates, one in internal medicine and one in nutrition. And so I focus on the inside. So I run blood work, I can do diagnostic testing with kits that I can send out to my patients. And so I see my patients virtually via telemedicine, and I treat
This
with
is so futuristic.
Thank you.
That is
Thank
just
you.
so
But I
awesome. I
focus
think,
on-
go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I think there's a little bit of a lag with the internet, but that's okay.
Go ahead, continue.
I was just going to mention that I try to focus on food as the primary source of my treatment. And then secondary, obviously, lifestyle adjustments, because if you're stressed out or you're not sleeping well, then that's going to affect your overall health. So we focus on that as well. And then supplementation. There's some fantastic companies that I work with that really help to heal the body, which is fantastic.
So that's just an awesome journey there, where you have been to restore your health, and then continuing the education, keep going just to find out all the little pieces of other puzzles and put together so you can help other people. That is just fantastic. And I know that food is a big factor, because we live for food, which is bad. We don't want to live for food. It's like, there's a phrase, the same thing in Vietnamese or in English, you live to eat or you eat to live, that's the 2 choices. Like, okay, we want to have a balance. We want to have a little fun too. Like, I confess, I do love cheesecake, and I sometimes bought a cheesecake and I freeze it and I eat it slowly for the next 3 months. Is there something, a balance, something that you can help our audience about? What is the basic? Does everybody have to turn into a vegetarian? Does everybody have to be, to be healthy? Do you really need to go from one extreme to the other? So what would be something that quick and easy? I know there's nothing quick and easy, but like the foundation, the fundamental
how much time do you
yeah,
have?
I know, right? Can you just like truncate it down to like 3 minutes?
Well, absolutely. And I think that, if we go extreme, if we do an extreme, that's not good, because we are human. And so we need to have those times where we enjoy food. We want to enjoy life. Like, there's some great foods that taste fantastic that may not be the best for you. Don't eat them every day.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that you freeze the cheesecake and have a little bit here and there. Like, you want to reward, have something nice and something to look forward to. Does everyone need to go and become a vegan? No, I don't think that. Vegetarian, vegan. And I don't even like the classifications of like the word diet, because that makes it seem like it's temporary, and it makes it seem like it's drastic.
Yeah.
So I like to look at what's going to nourish our body. And realistically, you can find that through a lot of different foods. So we definitely want to have some fiber. We want to have something green. We want to have healthy fats, and we want to have some protein. And so that mix can be really whatever you want it to be. But that's my basic, the short answer for the ideal diet would be something along those lines. So something simple like a little snack, you could have like a half an avocado. I like to drizzle some olive oil on it, sprinkle a little salt. It actually makes it taste sweet. So then you're getting healthy fats, you're getting some fiber, you're getting some protein, and you feel satisfied. And then you're not craving other things.
I never thought of putting olive oil on avocado. Now, my neighbor has an avocado tree, and she's been giving me like giant avocados, and it's like, it's huge. And I was like, I'm trying to look for recipe. I was like, there's nothing cooked. You always have, you can make guacamole, or you can just eat it with sandwich. But after a while, it's too much, right? But I will try the olive oil thing on avocado, fat on fat. It's good fat.
Exactly. The other thing is you can put it in a smoothie, and people think, oh my gosh, avocado in a smoothie, but it makes it so creamy. It's so good. It's delicious. So I think a lot of craving. So you're talking about, you love cheesecake, and people will say, oh, I have to have my chips, or I have to have my chocolate. a lot of cravings are based out of nutritional deficiencies. So your body's actually not getting the proper balance of nutrients from your diet. And so then it's craving, and then your mind's translating that into cheesecake or chips or chocolate. And so if you're focusing on eating the rainbow, I like to call that too, you want to eat foods from all different color groups in the rainbow. They're colored because they have different phytonutrients in them that our body needs them. Yeah. So eating something from the whole spectrum of the rainbow is super important. And then if you're looking at protein, you can get protein from so many different sources. You can get protein from broccoli. So people don't think about vegetables as being sources of protein, but they are. So you don't have to have a huge steak
Lots of beans.
Or chicken breast. And beans are good and bad. Like some people are very sensitive to beans, and some beans don't agree with people. And so yes, beans have a high protein content and have high fiber, but they're not good for everybody. And so that's when it's tough to say, you know, for every single person needs to eat these things. But I definitely think that most Americans in general don't eat enough greens. So definitely need to eat some leafy greens. We don't eat enough fiber as a country either. We're eating probably less than half of what we should a day. And that's super important for our digestion. Yeah. And then a good source of protein and a healthy fat will both keep us satisfied, and it helps our body heal, and it helps produce and make all of our hormones in our body too, which we need as well. So there's lots of other hidden health benefits.
So basically, if I could understand better and inform our audience about your daily diet, I think is customized to your own culture as well. I know that in Asian culture, we do a lot of rice. And I would say that a dozen years or so ago, I just decided that I did a 21-day cleanse, and I just got rid of rice. And I was able, I mean, I'm a petite person, and I was gaining the weight that when I gave birth to my son, and I could not shed that weight no matter what I did. And when I stopped eating rice every night, finally it took me like 15 years to shed that 5 pounds. And I did it. But and we kind of walk away from eating rice every night. And we thought we never could do that because, you know, Asian, we do rice all the time. And now I get craving every now and then. We sometimes we'll do like carb, like, you know, spaghettis and rice and whatnot. My point is those rice are good, but it's also giving a lot of diabetic precautions to it too.
The
I
blood
think
sugar. So it's
blood and sugar. Right.
Sugar.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what do you have advice?
So people think of like sugar affecting.
What kind of advice do you have for people if they are so accustomed to a certain diet that they could not change? I mean, I guess cutting it and supplement it with greens, with vegetables, and, you know, it's like, I know this is a talk that you need hours. You can't just do it in
I know, I'm like, I want to give you a short answer, but it's difficult. But realistically, for rice, so a short replacement for rice, I really like quinoa. And quinoa is just processed different in the body, and it's a complete protein as well. And so what you're thinking about, and you mentioned blood sugar, and so especially white rice or any white bread, white pastas, any of that is going to translate directly to a blood sugar spike in your body when you eat it, which is unhealthy.
Right.
So what we want to have is a complex carb if you're going to consume carbs.
Right.
And so quinoa and then brown rice would be maybe a better option, kind of transitioning away from white rice. It does take a little longer to cook, and it has a little different texture to it. But if you have the mindset of, I'm going to take care of my body is a temple, and I'm going to feed it the best fuel that I can. Then once you transition your mindset, you're able to take those little steps and say, okay, maybe I'll mix the white rice and the brown rice together and try that for a little bit and kind of work your way through. And then another thing,
you got to wean it. Yeah, you got to wean it slowly.
Some people you have to go very baby steps. You know yourself, and you know how quickly you can make an adjustment. Sadly, oftentimes people wait until they're very sick and then they have to make these drastic changes. So
Yeah.
my hope, and that's part of why I wrote the book, is that hopefully people can start making small changes now, improve their health now, and then we don't have to have a health emergency where we need to make some drastic.
Right. And I like the phrase on your website or somewhere I found it from you, that eat food like you take medicine, or else you're gonna take medicine like food, right?
Yes,
That
yes.
is so true. I mean, how many people you know that they take 10, 15, 20 pills a day? And that's almost like a diet, a regimen that
Yes.
to sustain your body. And that is something that if we could stay away from it and take care of it now, instead of just, you get to fall into the situation that you have to take it. Now, is there a myth that dairies are bad? We know that white rice or white flours, those are bad. But is wheat bad? Is dairy product bad?
I feel like you read my book already.
I want to know what's in your book too. Yes.
So I do touch on these in my book as well, but I will definitely share. So gluten, which is the glue that holds breads and pastas and stuff together, kind of gives it that texture. That's a protein, and it's a protein that's very challenging for our bodies to digest. Mm-hmm. So you can have an allergy, you can have a sensitivity, you can have an intolerance. Yeah. I would say that the way that gluten is processed in this country, most of us cannot properly break down gluten. And then our bodies are already inflamed from stress, from maybe not making the best dietary choices, maybe having not sleeping very well, maybe drinking too much alcohol, lots of different things, all those medications you were talking about, all of those are going to affect our digestive capability. And so when our digestive capability is decreased, that affects our immune system, but then it also affects our ability to break down these proteins that our body would be difficult with a perfect digestive system to process. So that's the kind of the piece with gluten. So I highly recommend
stay away as much as you can.
Gluten-free isn't necessarily better. Yes. And even gluten-free isn't much better because it's made from a lot of products that your body can kind of think is similar to gluten. So your body may react as strongly as if you ate gluten as well, if you have an allergy or sensitivity or an intolerance.
So is this best way just eat a lot of natural product, not processed stuff?
Yes, 100%. So that came from the earth, not from a package. So if it was created in a lab, that's not. Right. Roots are fantastic. We like
even though it's high
like leaves. We like.
Okay. Even though it is high content of carb, like potatoes and I like yam. I like those purple yams.
Yams. Yeah. Those are a great choice those are a more complex carbohydrate. Okay. So the white potato is going to be processed similar to the white rice and the white pastas, much faster blood spike in our system. Yeah. Whereas the sweet potato is going to process a lot slower because it's a complex carbohydrate.
Right. And then people out there watching, don't tell me French fries is vegetable.
No. That is not.
Anything deep fried.
About dairy as well. Yes. So I do want to touch on that. So the dairy discussion is another big discussion because that kind of gets into the whole beef discussion. But dairy is very inflammatory to our bodies. And so if someone's going to consume a dairy product, my recommendation would be, if they're going to consume cow's milk dairy, to look for grass-fed, because grass-fed cows, that's how they're supposed to be fed. That's their natural diet.
It's break down faster.
And then it's processed in our bodies in an anti-inflammatory pathway, whereas non-grass fed is broken down in a very inflammatory pathway in our body. So there's a big difference with that. But then sheep's milk or goat's milk is actually closer to the chemical composition of human breast milk. And so it's easier for us to digest those types of milk. So if someone were to
I could never drink those though.
Cheese. Goat Milk cheese,
I'm not a
smoked
big goat cheese person either.
or
I, the only
but
thing
then
is,
there's the great that is that there's
I,
lots of like nut milks, like
right.
coconut milk, cashew milk, and
Is
all the
that better? Because I have been switching to those almond milk,
almond
Okay.
milk.
coconut milk, and what is it? Almond, coconut, and something else. So those are, they taste like milk, but they're not milk. So it's
Exactly.
better.
Yes, those are better. And coconut has great fat content to it as well, very healthy fat content. And again, we're looking for things to help keep us satisfied and nourish our body. And
Right.
so healthy fats really nourish our bodies and keep us satisfied. And then we
Right.
aren't craving the bad stuff as much. We crave bad stuff when we're hungry.
Right. So I think we have a maybe one or two more questions regarding the book.
Okay.
So what can you tell us? You know, how can people get your book? Is it on Amazon? Is it on your website? And what is the core message of the book? Maybe you can entice people to look into it. And I'm really excited that you're going to have that book launch very soon.
Yes, fantastic. So this is a picture of it because I don't have the actual book yet.
Okay.
And it's called You Can't Outrun Your Fork. And this is my story combined with research and evidence combined with recipes. So
Oh, okay.
initially I was going to make a recipe book because I was getting the pushback from my patients and friends and family that they didn't know how to cook healthy and it was too difficult or didn't taste good. So I compiled my favorite recipes and I put them together in a book. But then I wasn't happy with that because I want to know why. I want to know why should I change my eating? I want to know why should I do things differently? So, and I realized that my own story shared some of that. And so I shared a lot of my story because I was an endurance athlete. I used to do Ironman triathlons and 50-mile ultra marathons.
Right.
So
Wow.
I did all of that. And then I still got sick because I wasn't focused on nutrition. I share my story and I share the evidence as to why we need to eat healthier and focus on the quality of the food that we consume. And I put it with recipes as well and shopping guides so you can find the best foods and then suggestions on where, what types of food to pick. And the book will be available pre-launch on Friday, October 23rd on Amazon.
Cool.
And I have a website. It's actually youcan'toutrunyourfork.com without the apostrophe.
Does it have a Kindle version?
Yes. Yep. There'll be a Kindle version and a paperback version.
Okay.
And on Friday, the 23rd, my book the Kindle version will be 99 cents for one day only. So highly, highly recommend grabbing the pre-launch copy of the ebook on Friday. And then if you have any questions, I have an email address, youcan'toutrunyourfork@gmail.com. So feel free to email me any questions that you have. And also, if you want to be added to the email distribution list for notifications of the pre-launch and then special offers that I'm going to be doing in the near future, you can also email me or go to my website and there'll be a little pop-up that will come up and you can add your email address in there as well.
Awesome. Do you have like workshop or things that you teach people how to eat right, or certain courses that you can sort of handheld people to go through their own journey of diet? Not diet, but
nutrition.
Nutrition, yes.
Yes, I do. So I have a quarterly program and it's called Healthy Eating for a Healthy Waistline. And it's done on Zoom, which is nice. So you can be anywhere and you can join the program. And so it's 4 one-hour sessions for a month period every quarter. And the next session is starting up in January. And if people are interested, we do have the early bird pricing going on for that program right now. And more information about that program is also on my website, youcan'toutrunyourfork.com.
Okay. So I will invite you to put your contact information in our Facebook group. So if anyone that want to reach out to Dr. Anya, please feel free to do so and check out her website with tons of information in there and her service and how she can help you. So Do you have any questions, Sarah, for Dr. Anya before I close up?
Uh, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I invite Dr. Anya to speak at my wellness class a couple months ago, and
Okay.
people are very amazed and they are excited that they receive a lot of good information. So,
Okay.
for any audience that you have any event that might want to include Dr. Anya, she's very well spoken, very
Yeah, she's
good.
an athlete. She's not only, teaching you, but she's actually living by example of how she take care of herself. And I think we have so many more questions for you. Maybe we have to have you come back, just to talk another aspect of wellness, because diet is just one thing, nutrition is one thing, and I think nutrition is also thinking about supplements
Hmm.
or what you don't, and then exercise part, and there are so many things, and they are integrated into each other. But I
Yes.
have my one last question for you before we totally close up. Now, is it really beneficial to eat organic food, like whole food, organic food? Like the price ticket is like, at least 30% more than a regular price. Is it worth somewhere to explore if people cannot afford it, or people are, is it really make a difference between whole food
Actually,
and
I feel like you've read my book because I do go on this in my book too, because I get that question a lot as well.
right?
So I will say that there is a resource in my book and also available online too. There's the Environmental Working Group called EWG, and they have a list that they publish every year that
Mhm.
has the Clean 15. So it's the top 15 products with the lowest amount of pesticide residue on it. And then they have the Dirty Dozen, which is the top 12 that has the highest amount of pesticide residue
Okay.
on it. And so you ask, is it worth it? Is organic worth it? So again, I look at the body as a temple, and everything that you consume, everything you put on your body, everything that you breathe is going to be processed by your body. And
Mhm.
so I think it's the best healthcare that you can buy is the food and the quality of the food that you consume. And so if you give yourself the best nutrients and the highest quality food now, then you're going to have less cost for healthcare in the future. So I 100% think that it's worth a little bit of extra right now.
Mhm.
I shop the sales, and I look for sales at the farmers market. I look for organic food delivery service, and I share some of that in my book, as well as
Okay.
places to find organic food delivery service across the country. I go to Whole Foods, I shop the sales, and actually
And
Costco.
it's trustworthy when Whole Foods say they're whole food. Actually, are they really certified in a way that you can trust? Because I think that so many times that people just slap on a label, and then you just read the label, and then you pay it and you go home. It's like, oh, there's no difference.
With the organic label, there are fines if they falsely
Okay.
advertise that they're organic. So that's going to be a pretty stiff fine for the company that puts that label on there. So,
Mhm.
so yes, I feel pretty confident that the food that I'm buying that says organic is organic.
Okay.
There are a lot of labels like healthy, all natural. Those don't
Yeah.
mean anything.
Yeah.
It's really
Zero trans fat, zero of everything. I was like, is it really?
there shouldn't be any trans fat in that. So
Right.
of course there's none. So
Right.
looking at organic is one of those labels that if it does say that,
Mhm.
that definitely holds some water to it.
Okay.
And I recently learned that Costco is one of the largest carriers of organic products in our country, which is pretty amazing.
Is it good? Because I'm a big fan of Costco, and I
Yeah,
have
I
been,
love Costco. I shop at Costco way too much.
and they're so innovative. Every time you go in there, you come home with something new that you never
Mhm.
tried before.
Yeah. So I
But
try to stay again. I try to stay with produce, and I try to stay with like the actual meats and try to stay away from anything that comes in a package. Of course, we need to have convenient things. We like to have a few things that are a splurge. And if you're going to buy those, again, try to go for the organic. And I can get into a whole discussion of the biochemistry as to why organic's better
yeah,
for you, but we might have
right.
to save that one for another
And
day.
and yeah, I mean, and there's so many questions, and I'm a scientist myself. I was a
Oh,
research
excellent.
chemist for a long time, so I'm really paying attention to a lot of things that normally will just kind of pass by, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, seafood, what is wild caught versus farm raised, and all those issue about health, about food.
Yes.
So I have to say is whatever you put in our body, you just need to know what do you put it in. So grab Dr. Anya's book
Yes.
and read it, and then have a little curiosity about what do you actually put in your body that is not going to harm you. And I'm sure that it's really hard to avoid things that you can completely be. I mean, that's why home cooked meal is still the best. You go farmer's market and you buy whatever vegetable. And even if you don't have money to buy whole food or organic, make sure you peels the carrot skins or the apple skin, and I think at least if you can do that, you can get rid of pesticides out in the surface, or wash it with soap. I like to soak it with soap with my grapes. I know. I mean, Costco have those little I think Trader Joe have those little things that you add a few drop in there and it's kind of
Oh,
break
yes.
the pesticides.
Hmm.
So I mean, do research, folks out there. You want to be healthy, you have to put in some work. And I am so grateful to have you here and educate our clients, not our client, our audience, your clients. And if you have more questions, please contact Dr. Anya and or us. We'll find her for you. But thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everyone, for watching our health segment today. I think it's like every now and then we get a healthy talk, which is really, really cool. Thanks, Sarah, for bringing Dr. Anya onto the show today. And we will see everyone right on the clock tomorrow at 5 p.m. Have a great evening,
Thank you very much.
everyone.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.